This is Drink Talk, where we try to solve the world's problems one drink at a time. Each week in this podcast, the topics of today and tomorrow are discussed while we sample some of the finest libations known to man. Join us. We are your hosts, Brian and Britt.
Check us out. All right. I'm ready to get this party started.
Well, hey, Kevin. He's already hopped on.
I love it. Well, I want to say, hey, Alex. Thanks for coming back onto the show.
Hey, guys.
What's the last time we saw? We saw you during Ferdson.
Yep, that was
right before Extreme Beer
February
Fest.
23rd was Extreme Beer Fest.
Awesome. So glad to have you back in.
I'm excited to be back.
Nice.
Yeah.
We also have returning guest Grant over here.
Grant Moose was
Yeah,
back in from Colorado. And
Oh, yeah.
How was your trip?
And Broken Compass Brewing Co. in Breckenridge.
Very cool.
The slopes were great, and everything was awesome. So
I heard they're making their own snow, though, out there because they don't have a whole lot
maybe
going on.
some, but they were fine the days I was there. So.
Good. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, welcome back. And, I'm
And
glad.
I heard the topic du jour, and I went, I think I might have a fewer things to say on this. So I'm going to still try to get in and get out and let you guys do what you do.
You stay as long as you like, buddy.
Cool. Well, yeah, Alex decided to stop in. Well, actually, we asked him to stop in, and he decided to say yes. How about that?
There you go.
I've been trying to get here for weeks.
Yeah. Well, we are fully booked.
The last one, and the last one was so much fun. I'm like, I have got to do this again.
What was your other topic? What was the other one you did?
We talked about Fernson beer.
Yeah,
We
that's
had,
the
one of
interview that
brewers
we did.
on.
The interview of Fernson Brewing Company from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
It was awesome.
And that was actually our first public live event. We actually recorded from Spirit World, which was really cool.
Thank you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's,
Well,
that's
and
what I do.
you brought all the samplings for tonight, so why don't you talk about the first one that we're going to be drinking on?
I got you.
Deschutes Mirror Pond. Super low ABV. Looks like 5%. I love that Deschutes is canning now. It's made their stuff much more approachable, but I'm kind of a can fiend. But this one, like I said, lower ABV, easy to drink. Just crush them down.
What, don't they do like a mango one? What's the orange one? Even Keel.
Yeah, that's from Ballast Point.
Oh, that's Ballast Point.
Well, their fresh squeezed is quite delicious.
It's the colors. Yeah. It's the colors that get me.
The cans of fresh squeezed, I have bought way too many of those.
Or not enough.
Distill does the mango.
Gotcha. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Matt says hi.
Hello.
Right.
Well, cheersy. Clinky,
Yes.
clinky,
Clinky
cheersy,
before
cheersy.
drinking.
Yeah, right? Let's give this a try.
Oh,
Almost got it.
that's the sound that we need.
Now, I know we all pre-gamed this, so except for Grant over here. So, Grant, you really got to give your own opinion on this one.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the
I'm
beer?
straight edge. What are you talking about?
Can you talk a little bit more about the beer, like alcohol content and
it's like,
what style? And
There's
all
a
that?
giant mountain on the front of this
Yeah.
can.
So the nice thing is, Deschutes, they used to do bottles, and on the front of their bottles they had the pictures, and then when they switched to cans, they put like the base picture from each beer, and then on the side it has the name of the beers. Like if you see their fresh squeeze, you know how it's got the two clamps pushing on the hop. So when you look at it normally, it'll have like your Deschutes label up front, and then it'll have the fresh squeezed hop, and then it'll have, and I think that one has something on the bottom. Flip the side, it says fresh squeezed IPA. Their can stuff it's brilliant. I love that they've taken those pictures that we all know.
Yeah, well,
And that's what you see first. So it's like, oh, I know that beer. Oh, but it's in a can. How great is that?
well, I'm trying to figure this out because they're from Oregon.
Yes, Bend, Oregon.
And then, so what's the mountain?
You know, that one I wish I knew. I've never been to Oregon, so I'm not the best with
I'm sure
geography.
it'd be a mountain in Oregon.
That's what I would have to imagine. They've done some really good stuff. I love that they're canning. I am much more a can guy.
It's a good flavor. I like
yeah,
it.
and like 5%. This is a patio pounder.
It's right next to All Day IPA. It's right
That's a
there.
good way,
Yep.
that's a good way to say it, patio. I'm going to guess maybe Mount Rainier, just a crossover in Washington.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
There you go.
But I like, so this is the Mirror Pond, and so you've got, I held it up for the world to see. Is that what, was that feedback that I should put that
Yeah, just pull it back a little
I
bit.
thought he meant my voice was,
No,
I was
well,
making
you're-
out with the
You're
mic.
totally fine.
All right, we're going to try this again. Okay, now I'm a slow learner.
Thank you, Vanna.
Can condition for quality. So, speaking of that, you being the beer guy there at Spirit World, you'd know better. Cans over glass.
I am
There's a
150% cans over glass.
Because there's no light that gets to it.
So
It's recyclable,
my three
cheaper.
biggest reasons: one, cheaper; second, smaller carbon footprint; third, you're getting rid of beer's biggest enemy, and that's light. Like I would much rather have a can. You You can crush it. You can throw it in a trash can. A bottle, if once you've had 6 or 7 and you're just roaming around, you may break that bottle. Boom, there's just glass all over the place. Like,
Yeah.
I am like I said, 150% for cans. If you go to Spirit World, my cooler's predominantly cans.
Yeah. Well, and if you are a true beer drinker, you should be drinking out of a glass anyway,
Right.
so you don't get the
I
metallic taste from the can.
People say that they get the metallic taste. I've drank one of these.
I
earlier.
I like
I'm
doing
having
it
out of a
because
glass now, and it tastes almost the same to me.
for me it's the head on the top, because when you pour it out of the can, you get the head on top, and it releases the aroma,
Absolutely.
the aromatics and all that.
Well, for me, I'm an avid beer drinker myself. With the glass bottles, so I have to have a 2-tiered recycling system. So I have a box for all of my recycling, and then I have a can for all of my trash, and then I have to have another can for all of my glass, because I recycle all my glass. I don't just throw it away. And then all my glass gets put out in the garage, and that builds up, and then I got to go take it somewhere else. So it's a little frustrating.
Understandable.
Collecting all that glass. Hey, I feel like I'm doing one better. At least I'm recycling it instead of throwing it away. But it's a headache. I
had never thought about a can crusher until you told me that you had one. I'm like, that's probably something I should invest in.
Well, I won't say that it happens all the time, but lately, I've noticed that the majority of so I have a bin upstairs that we empty into, and then I take that bin and I bring it down here and put it in the recycle bin, and then take that to the curb. The one upstairs just gets filled with cans. And I'm sitting up there, stomping the cans on my wood floors. I'm like, this is not good, and then I have to have shoes on in order to do it. I went out and got a $15 can crusher, and I'm so happy I did, and I just put it in there.
Can crusher, yeah.
Yeah, right there. That's my can crusher. So,
all right, well, let's get into talk a little bit about here, or a little bit here. We've got a couple other beers that we're going to be sampling on, but we'll talk about those as they come.
We are going to do a plethora of beers.
Yeah, well, 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
4 is more than.
Is that a plethora?
Plethora.
All right, so I put a little blast out earlier just about half an hour ago. What we were doing, we were talking about. It's paper. Don't you smell it? Taste it. It's paper.
Hey Matt, how's it going? Sorry, I just now saw that.
Yeah, I told you before. Yeah. So I came across this article.
I know lots of Matts.
I came across this article, and it just really got me thinking about what's going on in society today, and because I had just come off of Lent, giving up social media, and this kind of ties in a little bit, but it's called social currency. And for those of you that don't know what social currency is, which almost every single person I talked to this week has no idea what social currency is.
Here at Drink Talk, we do stuff ahead of the game. We talk about it, and then weeks later or even months later, people are like, oh, that thing. And it's like, oh, yeah, we talked about that weeks ago, months ago. And they're like, oh, well, I should probably listen to your show. I'm like, yeah, do that.
Well, I came across this article, and it was on travelandleisure.com. And the title of it is called China is Going to Limit Travel for People with Low Social Credit or social currency.
They don't want them to leave the country because they
travel
are not
period.
Good.
Travel period. Like they can't get on a train, they can't get on a plane, they can't get on a bus, they can't get a job. I mean, this is completely. I mean, okay, so let's do some background here.
So if you've got bad credit, you're just going to get worse.
Social credit.
I'm just saying, because you can't get a job, you can't get on a train, plane, automobile.
From what I found about the whole social credit thing, I honestly feel like it's just taking your base credit score now and just expanding it to everything else.
Oh yeah, making it more intrusive into your life. Absolutely,
exactly.
And that was I was going to talk about that how it is your credit score, but it's more.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, and it's not based on your spending habits. It's based on behaviors that you do. So there's a little bit more to it.
Well, I would have to contradict that. It is based on your spending habits. So I was.
We're getting way into this. Can I still talk about the article?
It is your spending habits. Yeah,
we're going a little further in here. Back in 2014, China started a social credit system, and last year, and the social credit system is actually called Sesame Credit. That's the name of it, so you can look it up. Sesame Credit,
not Sesame Street.
Not Sesame Street. Sesame Credit. And last year they actually implemented a scoring system for travelers, and as of May 1st, that scoring system will allow you or disallow you from actually traveling. There's actually going to be a ban in effect if you cause trouble on flights, or if you are using expired tickets, or you caught smoking on the train. Those kind of things. Those can get you kicked off for up to a year.
So this is the 2018 18 or 19 version of the checks that were behind at Spirit World, where it was like, don't honor John Doe's check because it was a bad check. That's all it is. I mean, really, that's all it is.
You know, I've seen that at both the liquor retail stores I've worked at. We had a spot that it was a piece of paper on the back of our ice cooler behind the counter, and yeah, they had a list of people that, like, every time we took a check, well, I gotta check this. It's not a name I've seen. You're good to go, because unfortunately, people are like that.
Right. Well, here's a piece of paper. There's money in there, I swear.
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, I've got checks left. I should have money in the account.
Exactly, right? Isn't
I
that
had
how it
checks
goes?
left.
So let's talk a little bit about.
Hold on. Kind of reminds me of, what was that movie? It's a bunch of IOUs in a box, and they had they bought a whole
Oh, that
bunch
was
of
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
So no, that's a good one. That's a $400,000 one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a keeper.
Yeah, for the Lamborghini that they bought. Yeah. So I guess we should define social credit or social currency real quick, because I mean we've kind of skirted around what it is, kind of like your credit score,
Yes.
but really the Wikipedia definition of it is it refers to the actual or potential resources from presence in social networks and communities, including both digital and offline. What does that mean in layman's terms? It is the power of your online persona. It is your social media presence and the power of that. So like Spirit World has a hashtag, has an @Spirit World on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, and all those followers equal credits in the bank, kind of like that. And the more people following that you have, the more you're allowed. We see this with like YouTube channels. The more followers you have on your YouTube channel, you can get paid for that. So you
Didn't
get
you
advertising.
just change that? Like, you have to have a certain amount of followers for your videos to even be valid?
Probably
50,000 followers before they start to pay you.
Yeah, I remember seeing that, because I had friends that were like, oh, I need my YouTube channel to get more likes. Please like me. And I'm like, oh, well, I know you. Okay.
The funny thing is, we actually have more on Facebook than we do on our YouTube channel. Now, granted, I started my YouTube channel a year after we started the show, so I mean, we only started in January, so we haven't gained popularity yet on that. Nor have I had the ability to. So on Facebook, you can run ads. So I spend like $20, and they run a week or 2 weeks worth of ads for me. YouTube really doesn't have that. You know, there's no ad-based thing there, unless you want to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I ain't got that kind of money to spend on this show.
Mm-hmm. So this is those of you that are wanting to see some videos on there. There are some. It's hard to find them, but there is a really good Netflix series out there, and I've talked to Britt about it before. And do you know much about Black Mirror? Have you heard of it?
I hadn't until he said something to me,
Okay.
and now it's something I definitely need to check out.
Gotcha. So it's a really interesting series in the fact that every episode is completely different.
It's a one-off show.
Every episode has new actors, new plot line, everything. The only thing that ties all of them together is it shows technology in a good light and technology in a bad light. That's the only continuity between the whole series, which is really cool because it shows you the good and the bad.
Yeah.
There's one episode,
the ugly.
Right? Yeah, absolutely, and some of them.
The ugly.
So in season 3, the pilot episode of season 3, the episode 1 is called Nosedive, and it speaks directly to this. And
Now, hang on, let's say that one more time. Season 3,
episode 1
of Black Mirror.
It's on Netflix for you Netflix guys.
So if you are having a hard time following along with us right now, just stop this program, watch that, and then come back to us.
It's like less than an hour, and it's based in the future. Everybody has contact lenses, and they can see, like, when they look at somebody, there's facial recognition, and then right next to them pops up their
star rating,
social credit score, and 5 is like the highest you could be, and the main character,
but it's like 4.128.
It goes further.
It's 3 digits behind the point.
But you only see the 4.2,
right?
But like it does extend it, like gas prices, you know.
And you're getting judged on everything. Interactions with just people. You go to the barista, and the barista gives you coffee. Well, you judge him, and he judges you. Just like Uber right now. That's what's happening right now with Uber. You get judged as a person in the cab or in the car, and you get judged as a driver as well.
Right.
And kind of like social media today with Facebook, when you post something, all the likes that you get, or, well, you don't get downvoted. Like Reddit, there's upvoting and downvoting on Reddit, but not on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is
there a thumbs down button? There's a thumbs up button. But
Yes, but
There's
doesn't.
sad. There's emotions that are.
It doesn't count.
well,
toward
sad,
it. It's
but
just
sad,
an interaction.
sad could be like, you know,
Right.
my loved one died. You know,
Right.
sad.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So
But it just counts as an interaction,
Right.
not a plus or minus, or it's just an interaction. Somebody interacted with your post. That's all that's saying.
I feel like literally this is Yelp. Like
Right.
as soon as something
Yelp for
goes
people.
wrong at most
For
places,
people, oh, that's
people
a
are like,
great.
I want to Yelp about it, and like instantly, like all those people that follow Yelp, they read your Yelp thing and they're like, oh, well, this looks bad. It's like, no, come in, formulate your own opinion.
Right.
Like,
Then, by the way, Yelp on it.
yeah, right.
That is a really great time. That was I didn't even.
I
think
feel
of
that's kind of what started a lot of this. Like, how good is like my spot in comparison to everybody else?
So
Right.
the irony is, it's not anything different than it's ever been. It's the digitization thereof.
right. Yeah,
Right? And the retention. And so do we keep a negative Yelp review for a year or
forever.
You know, and credit scores. So I'll put on my day job hat here in the financial sector, and then immediately take it off and say I'm not going to make any comments specific to any situations. But I know my way around credit because I've been around banks and I've been around other industries that are close. We're going to have a day where I'm not going to pick on a particular cell phone provider, but you're gonna have cell phone provider A, and you're gonna have cell phone provider A, and your
No, he's actually has B, and I have A.
whatever I want for the point of the illustration, have the same one for the moment, please.
Fair enough.
And his
we're within 1%
and
of you.
his cell and his
Right.
cell phone score, which looks a bit like credit scores, is going to be better, and therefore he's going to pay for the exact same plan. He's going to pay 8% less. And yes, maybe it's usage based, but it's also
Well, that's already happening already.
it's-
Brian pays 8% less than I do
it's
already.
also bill history. It's
Yeah.
also how much you smile, and
Mm-hmm.
you're spreading positivity to the world, and you know all this interesting
Well,
stuff.
it's
So-
just like your FICO credit score. I mean, if you don't have a good credit score, you're going to pay more on your mortgage than some guy that's got this
Yeah, 'cause
awesome
you're not going
credit.
to get you're not going to get
And
the
you're like,
percentage.
it's the same exact house. It's the same house, but you're paying more for it because you've got a worse score.
Well, and they showed that in the Netflix series. In Nosedive is the name of the episode, and she went to buy a house, and she was at a 4.2, and they said, "Wow, gosh, if you were at a 4.5, you get a 20% discount." And she's like, "Oh, I can afford it.
I can bump that up. Yeah,
so
that should be no problem.
She went to a consultant, and the consultant was like, "Here's what you got to do to get from 4.2 to 4.5 is not bad, but you got to do this." And she had a wedding to go to. I don't want to ruin the whole show for you. You should watch it. It's really, really cool. Apparently, there's another show that I have not seen yet, and I do want to see it. It's with Seth
Orville.
MacFarlane. Yeah, the Orville.
Yeah,
Which is
that's
just
the
like
Seth
Star Trek.
MacFarlane one, right?
Yeah, it's the Star Trek. Yeah.
So I've
The
been
new
wanting to
Star
see-
Trek.
Yeah, apparently
That's what I've heard.
the
It's
exact
like-
same concept is in the Orville.
Yeah, I don't know what episode that is, but
I think it's all of them. I think it's just the baseline of the society that they're in.
oh,
I think-
gotcha.
So kind of like Star Trek, they don't use currency there anymore.
Yeah. Here you go. Thanks for the beer.
They do it for the betterment of humanity. So.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's talk about some positives. What are some positives that could come out of having a construct of social currency / credit behind you?
Well, you'd act better.
Crickets.
I was going to say you're going to act worse as a person because you're going to act fake, but you're going to act better. You
Yeah.
will act better.
Absolutely. It may be a fake way of making you do it, but shaming you into doing it. But yeah, that you will. I think it encourages you to be better by getting a better score.
scares me.
Yeah.
I mean that's like
Well,
that's
I'm
like
gonna
that's like
agree with
that's
that
like
one.
racism in the
Yeah.
last 60 years. In theory, like the stigma that we all okay, all is the wrong word. The vast majority knew that what we were doing was wrong, and so we needed to change some rules. And so then it shamed those that still held certain opinions, extreme opinions, down below, until they reached a critical mass, and then came back up. So I see that in this same way with this. Like, we're shaming you into behaving nice. We're shaming you into behaving nice
Right.
until you just rise up and we realize that you're writing the code of the score. And then, all of a sudden, it just topple. It's
Well-
when you try to. I guess this is the only thing I would say about the whole stinking thing. And it's interesting. It's originating with Sesame Street out of China. Is
Yeah, we can call it Sesame Street. I like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
when you try to societally engineer or human engineer behavior as opposed to letting it just have freedom.
But they're in a dictatorship already.
Yeah, I know. So I like my way better. I mean, my way still has, And anyway, I can tell you get a point. I can't wait to hear it.
Like, when you think about it in like the whole social credit like the whole aspect, it's like you're out with your other half, just hanging out, having a good time, and you meet another couple in line or something at like some restaurant you're sitting at. They're like, "Oh, you guys, you guys are amazing. You look so happy." It's like, okay, so are you telling me that because you actually think that, or are you telling me that because your social credit score is really bad and you're trying to make yourself look better? Yep. Because I know, from my opinion, we may not be that great of a couple by our social credit score. So it's like, I feel like this whole score thing is such a bad idea. I feel like, it just makes you look like a bad person.
I have plenty of negatives that we can go through. Let's talk some positives.
Yeah, exactly, some positives. So this is already rolling out in China. China's already doing this, and there are already people getting these scores, and they're already doing things about this.
The scores are out there. As of May 1st, they will be allowing you or disallowing you from doing things. But right now, it's just a gaming aspect.
Yeah, and just a score.
Yeah. For me, like, one of the positives is a gaming aspect for life points.
Cha-ching! Cha-ching! Cha-ching!
Well, everybody, like The Sims, right? I mean, you did things to increase your characters.
I never played that game.
I was addicted.
Kind of a silly thing. Would that ever be something that would be, like, maybe adapted into us? Because, like, the whole, like, USA is really free. Like, would that ever be a thing that's like, you need to do this to make yourself look
like
better?
I said, it's starting in China, and it's starting to go over to the Europe side, and it's eventually going to come here.
Okay.
If it keeps propelling the right way it's going. But what it's going to do is it's going to have you second guessing things.
You keep going negatives.
Yeah. No. That could be a positive.
That's probably my bad. I've said it twice now.
No. I think that's a positive. I think that you could be you're about to do something dumb or stupid. And then you go,
like, no, that's going to mess up my credit score.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, yeah. Maybe I shouldn't do that. You know. Yeah. I think sometimes people need to second guess themselves. You know, they're not doing the right thing, and then this thing will put that in their mind, like, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, everyone has to have a conscience.
Exactly.
Well, and since this is kind of like a gaming thing, you know, there's going to be like achievements, like
level up.
You were nice to 5 people today. Level up.
Level player 1.
Yeah, you get double experience points today for the next 24 hours.
That one was silly. I won't even say it.
Something else that may be really interesting is that, on a positive note, is that from a social aspect, this may open doors to people that may financially not have had those doors open to them before. But socially, they're really good people. So it would create a lifestyle for them that they would not otherwise have unless they had the financial means to do so in today's world.
So like, I make $200 a week, but somehow I'm able to afford a house because I'm just a really good person?
Yes, exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Customer experiences.
Yeah. I sharpen pencils part-time in my...
But you do it 150% every day, so you're a way better person.
Exactly. Customer interactions. I mean, I'm sure everyone's got a story where you walk into a place and it's just like crappy customer service, and you're just like, oh, you know, this would make things better. You know, you would get better customer service, I presume, because of this.
Fake or otherwise,
but it would be a lot more pleasant experience as a customer.
So
I was going to say, you look like you got something to say there.
Well, I had to research this. So this takes me back to my MBA, which I try not to go back there, but I was very...
You were in the NBA?
I was very intrigued when you used the term currency, because then I said, wait, are we doing Bitcoin? No. Social currency. Mm-hmm. I go to capital, so the capital markets. So we have financial capital, which we all understand, and we all say there's credit scores and financial currency and all that. Then here's the other ones: intellectual capital. That's how much you've put in your brain or existed there naturally somewhat. Human capital, which is that if you take 100 computer programmers and divide them in 2 groups of 2, if you do it random, maybe they perform equally. If you do a better job of selecting them on your team, it's like drafting the Yankees instead of drafting whoever is not the Yankees.
Mets.
There you go. Social and relational.
I don't get the baseball jokes.
Social and relational capital. What sport do you like? Any of them? No.
Big football fan.
There you go. So it'd be like drafting the Patriots.
He likes curling.
Browns.
Instead of drafting the Browns. Got it? All right, there we go.
I figured that's probably what you meant.
Then we got social and relational, which is where we're spending time on. So you can have capital. So not only can you be in flux of currency, right? My currency can go up and down, but I can actually retain some. Mm-hmm. And that's where you talk about total number of likes, total number of followers, things like that. And then the two weird ones are natural capital, which is like natural, like this guy's got guns and I don't. So that would be the individual human level of that. At a societal level, we got access to mining and whatnot. And then manufactured, which is just a weird way to say we make stuff more efficiently than other people. So anyway, I wanted to bring that bigger context to come back then to social capital and social currency and say, okay, it's existed. That concept of there being value and being value between two parties. So whether you can get on a plane or not, that seems really restrictive.
Well, seriously, so for in the marketing business, social capital or social currency has been around for over a decade.
Yeah.
Look at Yelp.
Yeah.
Look at Instagram. Look at the people that are getting paid. Exactly, heavy influencers.
Yep.
It's been around for a long time.
Yep.
So it's only been in the last 5 years that this has become hey, we could apply this to individuals. And then in the last year, or actually in 2 weeks here, China's going to say, no, this is going to affect your life.
That's weird.
So it's changing pretty rapidly.
Yeah, that's really
When
weird.
you say currency, I think about so currency is
They
essentially...
call it credit.
Yeah.
But
so
I think
can you build that up? Like, can
Yeah.
you have like a week where you're just a good person, and the next week it's like, oh, I have 3 days where I just want to be a bad person. Like, I don't like you. Oh, my score dropped. Well, I've got enough built up. Like,
Well, if you
doesn't
have the
matter.
cheat code, then you can do whatever.
Up, down, left, right, A, B, A, start.
Yeah.
Contra fan.
and then some
Mario
I
Brothers,
love
I think
Contra.
it is.
then
I was
some
a Contra
organized
fan,
some organized religion might try to sell you some,
yeah. Oh yeah, if you go to
What do
church,
you have that
what
whole
are they? What are
corruption
those?
aspect?
What were those called? Sale of the something. It caused the Reformation.
oh yeah, the
Indulgences. I think it was indulgences.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can purchase an indulgence.
So it can get weird really fast.
It's like, okay, I'll be a really good person for 3 weeks out of the month, and the last 3 days of the month, I'm gonna be the worst person you've ever met. Like, I've already got it built up.
I like to keep my baseline at like a 3, so I was up at a 4-1,
Yeah.
so I need to come back down.
I
a
feel like
little
that's
bit.
like you could kind of work the system like
Absolutely.
that if that was actually something that happened.
As long as you knew you didn't want to fly home to grandma or whatever, that's cool.
yeah.
Right? Like, oh, I look really good this week.
Yeah.
I can't tell this person I don't like them.
Right.
You are awesome.
That DJ, he's hot and talented.
Yes.
Hey.
All right, we are taking a break. This break brought to you by.
Oh, this is Rogue
Yeah.
7. Rogue Hop 7 Hop IPA.
Yeah.
7 different types of hops. Does it-
Yes,
Now-
correct.
Is that just a shot thing, or is that just a anytime you drink thing with the hitting the table? I notice a lot of bartenders.
I
and all
consider
that.
it every time I drink. Like, if it's a group of people I haven't seen in like 3 months and they were my good friends, it's like, oh, our lives sucked, but we're all together now. Let's make it
Yay.
good.
Is there some symbology behind that, or some symbolism? I believe the word you were looking for was symbolism.
I don't have an answer for that one.
So no, this is Rogue. This is 7 Hop IPA. It is brewed with 7 Rogue farm hopped varieties. Its alcohol content is 7.77.
And Rogue is out of Oregon.
And Rogue is out of Oregon. So look at that.
Yeah, Deschutes and Rogue.
I know.
Nice.
We're doing it great.
And doing the West Coast.
Doing the West Coast. Here, how about Brian? Why don't you read all the hops that are in here?
Oh my goodness.
I know. I was gonna read it and then I'm like,
Yep.
I'm actually kind of curious about the hops that are in this.
Brewed 13 ingredients. All these are hops? Or these? No, that's just all the ingredients. Rogue Farms Dare, Risk, Mayor Munch and Dare, R3 Malts, Rogue Farms Liberty, Newport,
There we go. Those
Revolution,
are the hops.
Rebel, Independent, Freedom, and Alluvial hops. I haven't heard of alluvial
Perfect.
hops.
I'm glad I let him read
Yeah.
that.
Pac-Man yeast and free range coastal water.
I would have butchered alluvial.
Free range coastal water.
The water really matters. That's
Yes.
why Colorado beers are so good, in my opinion.
Water lives
You got-
matter.
You got.
You got to come back for this one then, because hopefully we're going to taste those all in one night. You boys ordered 3 from the same.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
from
We're-
Colorado.
but not tonight. I just wanted to drop them off so they
Yeah.
were in your fridge. But
Oh, perfect.
we can
Broken Compass.
we
they
can do
have
them during
good
the
water.
after talk, and then
Nice.
you can stay for the after talk.
No, let's just save them for the next topic.
Sounds good.
Fair
Sounds
enough.
good.
I'm out of here in about 10
I
minutes.
got a little
Fair point.
cash in my pocket if I need be.
Fair point.
But getting back to good things, instantaneously knowing a score.
Yeah, so it's like a gaming aspect to it.
So, I mean, I think that could be a good thing because it's like you want to go apply for a loan for a house or you want to go get something, instantaneously knowing, no, you're not going to have it, or yes, oh, absolutely, you're approved. You know, I think that's kind of cool. That's a neat aspect.
Well, and I bet you that at that point in the future, we're going to have some like risk assessment thing like, I'm going to do this. Okay, well, if you do this, this is going to be your score.
Yeah.
And it'll increase or decrease by whatever. Or if you do this, then it'll increase it or decrease it.
Well, you know,
by more or less.
let's just say buying a firearm. You know, you have to do a background check. This is an instantaneous background check.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I think that's probably the best point we've made tonight, which is I think that people love that. We love scores. We love football scores. We love baseball scores. We love beer scores.
Statistics,
we love, you know, we love statistics. And you're absolutely right that even when people come into my work, which is influenced by some kind of scores,
Yep.
you don't know what your score may be.
And they don't, but you can explain the concepts of it, and you can explain, and to a certain extent, we get into actual credit scoring stuff. People actually, they don't hate that because it's not a finite thing.
You want to instantaneously know what you
can
are.
have an 800, therefore I can only have a 600 because there was a total of 1400. We can move all of us up because the rules are fixed. So if we all learn the rules of the game, we can elevate. And that's pretty cool. As long as the system is not a finite. So go back to capital. As long as it's not a finite capital where you know it's a winner loser. You know, as long as we can both be nice to each other and both get a Sesame Street credit.
Which I don't know that they would create a system like that. I think they would just say, gosh, man, if we had a whole society of 5-star people, then
yeah,
awesome.
I mean, cutting back to the show Black Mirror, they were literally interacting with somebody and right then and there giving their approval. I think that's a little much. You know, it's like, do I want to have my phone in my hand the entire time, walking around the street going, ooh, 5 stars, ooh, 2 stars. Ooh,
it is
5
for
stars.
a lot of people today already.
Well, it is. I agree with that, but I guess that's getting down to the downside. You know, you know, instantaneous gratification, I guess, is what I would be getting at.
Right, which is what a lot of people seek nowadays.
No.
Yeah, they post something, and 10 minutes later, if they don't have 100 likes, they're like, what is going on in my life?
Yeah, then they go shoot up YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God.
Was it too much? Was it too much? Well,
No, it's like it's not expecting that step, but okay, yeah.
But I mean,
got you.
I think this is a great topic to talk about because I think people need to get to know about this sort of thing because it is happening. It's not in the future; it's present tense in China, but it's also on the trail of Cambridge Analytics. Do you guys know about Cambridge Analytics?
I think I do.
YouTube had to come out and say sorry.
Yep.
So Cambridge Analytics came out, and it really sounds like Cambridge University. It really sounds like they're a good thing, and it's out there.
That's what I immediately associated with.
So what it is, they did all these quizzes online. You could take them, and then they were able to access your information. Not only your information, but your friends' information.
Do you mean YouTube or Facebook? Because you said
Facebook.
You said YouTube.
Did I say YouTube?
You did say YouTube.
Then that's my bad. Who knows? Cambridge Analytics probably on YouTube too. Anyway, we're riding on the coattails of that. Facebook had to formally come out and apologize. I mean, the president of Facebook had to come out, and he's actually going in.
Mr.
Zuckerberg. He had to. Well, right now he's going to be appearing before the Congress. You know, and formally apologizing. And my wife and I were actually talking about this in the car on our way home from Pop's house. It's tough. I mean, running a company, like, I can't imagine starting Facebook, let alone making sure every single member of Facebook was taken care of. You know, like, there's no backdoor, there's no intrusion, there's no stealing of data. You know, and for Cambridge Analytics, which sounds very professional and very university-esque because there is Cambridge University, for them to slip in and take all these people's user datas, I could see how that could happen. Well, and Carly's like,
we're getting off on a tangent. Yeah, that's like a whole nother topic. Yeah, well,
really. She was saying, you know, it's all Zuckerberg's fault. I'm like, well, you know, I don't think it was his fault. I think they got in and they snuck in, and he didn't know nothing about it.
And once they were
he
in,
might have known something about it.
They
He might
took
have.
everything they could once they were in. Too.
Everything they could.
Yeah, they were good at that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
and this is the same premise, taking all the information.
Well,
that they can.
and that gets into the negatives here.
Yes.
All right. So, like for me, like the number one is going to be, well, this is another way that the government can control your behavior.
Absolutely.
Really?
If humans
So-
want, like, if you're going on the gaming aspect with the better score, and they say, oh, these things get you a better score, these things over here, they do not get you a better score.
So I did about 5,000 job interviews, and you knew people were always putting on their best face. It's back to how
You would hope.
everybody lies. So if
Well,
everybody
they put their best foot forward. That's what they try to do.
right, if everybody's putting on their best foot forward, can you still tell the difference between? So can people game equally, or is gaming even a bit of a skill that can be?
Putting
a
best foot
valuable thing?
forward would be
So-
a whitetail lie.
I don't. Here's where I react to that one is that I have a buddy that's right in line with you on that. He would not be in line on a lot of things, but he's right in line that we're creating this data, and maybe the NSA's got it, maybe government's got it, and I'm like, you know what?
Maybe.
They've got
I don't
it.
really care. I got Twitter, and unless they shut my Twitter, like the only time I've gotten really upset is when Twitter didn't allow me to post something because I tagged too many things on it. Like, and that was the only time that I was like, man, I feel like my American voice got shut down here. I don't care otherwise.
Your freedom of speech got shut down.
Right.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I'm like, I have more power in my fingertips. Obviously, by who, in my opinion, my own, me, not speaking for Drink Talk or anyone else, we have a president that knows that knew how to leverage the power of his voice in social currency.
He's reaching an audience that has never really taken a part of politics before. That part, I don't. I think he needs to put a filter on his Twitter feed, but
Yeah, we can, yeah. But anyway, I don't get that cynical about it. See, I go back to this line of like social currency, sesame chits, and whatever. We can call them stars, right? Because we're USA.
Yeah.
USA. So we're getting. So you got 28 stars, and I got 22. As an employer, especially if I'm at Spirit World and I'm hiring a waiter or waitress, I want a 28 over a 22 every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Right.
Because they're going to.
Because you know they're better.
Yep.
yeah. And if we have like in that show, they have these contact lenses that would immediately, with facial recognition,
Immediate
show
response.
you what the their score was, and if you had a waiter come up to you and it was like a 2.2, and you're like, man, dang it.
Let's go to a different restaurant.
Yeah.
So, slightly off topic. Have any of you guys ever seen the movie Equilibrium?
Oh yes,
No.
Christian Bale.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Get yourself to market. Get your equilibrium.
I kind of feel like what they're trying to adapt with the social credit aspect is kind of what that is.
Very much so.
But
yeah.
I mean, that one, like, you take a pill. Like, you take a pill to make you better.
Docile,
And
docile.
if you don't take that pill, they find you, and it's not good from there. Like,
No.
I remember seeing that movie when I was, like, 15. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Because, like, there's so many spots that you see in the movie where the people that aren't taking their pill, they are very easy to pick out. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like the social credit aspect is kind of the same thing. Like, I have to be a good person, so I'm going to put on this face when I'm in public. But when I'm just sitting at home and no one is paying attention to me, I'm going to be whatever person I kind of want to. Like, it goes back to, in Equilibrium, the one Gunkata, he's like, well, I don't think this is the right way to do things, so I'm going to kind of be my own person when I'm not on my job.
Right.
What's crazy is in this show, and I don't want to give a whole lot.
Black Mirror.
Yeah, in Black Mirror show.
I need to watch that stuff.
I know. So they actually put like a Matrix thing in here, and she gets hooked up with this truck driver, and a female truck driver who's got like super low, like
1.3.
So yeah, but she's like
On a scale of 1 to 5, that counts as low.
yeah, very very low. So anyway,
she doesn't give a care in the world.
and I don't know if
Job. Way to self-limit that one. We don't need to edit.
Did you know? I don't know if you noticed this, the whole Matrix aspect of it, but there were thermoses in the car, and she said the red one is whiskey and the blue one is coffee. Take what you will. And then later on, she gives her an out, which was the red thermos,
And she
which
took
was
the red thermos.
which was the whiskey.
Well, I think back to, like, seeing as that movie, like, there was one, it was like a 3-second
Good catch.
scene.
I didn't think of that.
There's
And
a dude
I
that-
remember her giving that.
He's walking down, I think, an escalator, and he puts his hand on the side of the escalator. Like, that's emotion. Like, you were just like, oh, what's this like? Like, if you were emotionless, you wouldn't have paid attention to anything around you, but you saw that and you're like, I'm kind of curious. Like, that's emotion. So I don't know. Maybe that I really enjoyed that movie when I was young. Oh, am I supposed to be talking about this?
No, you're not. You were out, so I was just giving.
Oh, well, it's out, so I can't fill it.
Wrong one.
Oh, there's another one. Even better.
Bartending fail right there.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was a movie I really enjoyed.
No,
I really delved into it.
And it's one of those movies that I think flew under the radar.
It was the first thing I thought of when I looked up the social credit thing.
And,
absolute first thing I was like, this makes sense.
it's been a minute since I've seen that movie, but I totally agree with you. That was very good time.
The original Batman.
That's
right? Yeah.
That's a good transition because you gentlemen just poured the rest of this, so you're going to be getting on to drink 3. I'm going to cheers my way out of here.
Okay.
Do we know next week's topic?
Actually, I was going to talk to Britt
play-by-play.
about that. We actually will be going probably on location if it's okay with Britt.
Out of town?
And no, it's in town here, and we'll be.
I can't do Saturday next week.
No, it's a Sunday afternoon if you can do it.
Probably not Brunken Compass next week, but when you do this one, I'd love to be here.
Okay.
We'll be in touch about the details and all that stuff. And
all right, Grant, thank you for joining
you
us.
bet. Great to meet you.
Absolutely.
We'll
Thanks,
see
sir.
you guys.
see
I'll
you.
be watching online right now.
All right, cool.
Take some cash.
I'll get
You
it.
got beer or something.
All right, so we're still talking some negatives.
Thanks, Grant. You're awesome.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that he showed up.
kudos to that man.
Yeah.
The wealth of knowledge, man.
It'd have been nice if you would stay a little longer, but
Next time.
Yes.
so long, farewell.
Ben
Auf
Benito.
Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Yeah, I'll be saying goodbye, right? That's what I thought it was.
All right.
All right. I'm. Why don't you guys talk some negatives? I'm going to get the door for him.
Yeah, I mean, more negatives is literally if you were able to instantaneously know somebody's score, then you'd instantaneously be judging someone, which, I mean, technically we are doing that right now, but it's like more of a judge. You're like, if you walk up to somebody and you're sitting at a 4.7, which, you know, is awesome, and you walk up to somebody that's a 2.8, but that person could be your match. I mean, that could be your husband. It could be your wife. But you're not going to give them the time of day because, you just saw their score instantaneously, and you're like, I'm not even going to give them time. I'm not even going to
I
do
want
it.
to say, unfortunately, and
Hi,
fortunately,
sister. Just want to say that.
unfortunately and fortunately, I feel like I'm in that position where, like, if I looked at you and, like, oh, you scored a 2.5, like, okay.
There's got to be a story behind that.
Maybe your scores came from just a couple bad nights. Like, you were working 8-hour shifts, and the end of your shift, you had a 25-table
8-hour shift, man. I work
25-person table sit down. It's like, okay, you may have gotten a
Yeah.
like,
I wish
kind
I
of
did
a low
an 8-hour
score.
shift.
And then, like, I sit down with you, and, like, I would have rated you, like, a 4.7. It's
Yeah.
like, I thought you were awesome.
Yeah.
So it's, like, it's kind of hard coming from the service
Well,
industry. Is like,
it
if
makes-
I, like, sat down and I saw a 2, I'd be like, okay, what's going on here? And then, like, if you gave me, like, 5-star service, I'd be like, you just had a really bad night.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
So I don't consider myself a judgmental person. You know, I
mean, you saw me and you liked me, so I'm going to
yeah,
agree with
we're
that
gonna
one.
we're gonna hang out. I'm gonna get to know you as a person before I even start judging you. But you know, with this scoring system, and if you were able to view it instantaneously, everybody be judgy. Yeah, you know.
And those of you that are,
more
I've noticed
judgmental
like
than
a
they are.
little uptick on the viewership. So if you're just joining us now, we're talking on social currency and what that means in society and positive, negatives. Right now, we're on the negatives of what's going on with that.
Yes.
So many negatives, I feel like.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Well, there,
Which is kind of unfortunate.
well, I mean, there are good things that will happen because of it. Like I said, you'll act better as a person. You'll do better things, you know, because you're being judged all the time. But yeah, I think that right now the bad is going to outweigh the good right now.
I actually feel like you're right, which is kind
Which
of
we'll talk more about
bad
the
way
bad.
to put it. I
Yeah.
feel like
One of them, another bad one, is it increases the reach of big data and Big Brother. Because if you think of how many interactions you have with people throughout the day, there's so much data that happens between that. And then Big Brother is constantly watching all of that. And then somebody's got to control all that data. So it's going to expand that reach.
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
I feel like a horrible
Well,
person.
That
all right,
flopped.
All right. So right now, so much data is being collected already from us. So, I mean, they've already got a scoring system already from us. So you've got Google, you've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, NSA. I mean, even down to your Fitbit. Like, if you don't get up and get your steps, Fitbit knows that. And so these companies already know all of that information and already are judging you. Your Fitbit judges you and says you did not get those steps in.
Did you hear about the whole Fitbit story a couple months ago? So apparently Fitbit had an app where you could track where you worked out. And there was some college kid that was, I mean, I don't have any explanation for this one. He was looking into this app and he figured out that the military gave Fitbits to almost all their soldiers.
Oh, and he tracked them.
He tracked
I did hear about
the
that.
routes, and he was like, hey, I don't know how he got a hold of him. It was some sort of government aspect. He got a hold of somebody. He's like, hey, like,
which is like top secret to secret data.
He's like, I found all these routes to all of our military bases because those people are working out all the time. And you gave them a Fitbit app that's running, so it's like showing me the exact locations to where your military bases are.
Overseas and here.
Yeah, some 19-year-old kid, I think, and he was like, I cracked this code. It's like, dude, you are a genius. Like, Fitbit, they shut that app down right away, apparently. This kid was like a genius.
Whoops.
Right? Like,
well, and
oh my God.
You didn't hear much about it either, too. I did hear about it, but you didn't. There wasn't much about it.
That's incredible. Like, to be
I did
that
hear
smart,
a little bit about that.
Holy crap. Like, you were on it. Like, you knew what you needed to do, and you're like, this doesn't look right. Like,
well, the point I'm getting at is they're already tracking us and trending us. You know, you're already getting judged. You're already getting, likes and dislikes. You're already getting followers. It's already up. Like, all they got to do is go flick the switch, and done. And it's happening. China. If they do flick that switch, I mean, they're becoming North Korea.
They already, May 1st, they're flipping the switch.
I mean, I can't imagine the people that are in tune with what's going on and doing this sort of thing. Yes, the people that are doing it right now are getting awesome ratings and all that sort of stuff. If you're getting bad ratings, I'm sure they'd go delete, and just get out of it.
Well, so that brings up another negative. So
you can't delete that.
Okay. So who decides what the positive and negatives are, and where that line is that defines that?
I was going to ask that. Like, if that was this system was integrated in our society, where do you guys think you would rate?
You got to keep your face at the mic.
Oh, sorry.
When you're talking, look at me.
Sorry. Either way, where do you guys think you would integrate in that kind of aspect? Like, would you be people like, oh, you're making my credit score look bad, I'm going to step back, or like, I still kind of like you. We don't believe the same thing. Here we go.
Well, funny thing you say that. We have this Vin, Nebraska thing coming up, and my last name is notorious for things around town. And I just happened to say my full name to this group, and they were like, awesome. You're going to get things done.
Fantastic.
We know your family. Is your father coming? I go, no, he's not coming to Vin, Nebraska. He's like, are you sure? Like, because there's some wine that he should probably check out, because my dad's a big wine drinker and all that. But it's I can already see it in my own life,
Okay.
Just from that little aspect of, just because I used my last name, they went, oh, you're a good guy. You're trustworthy,
To your question, I would say, for me, my social media presence, I'm just using that because that's what we have here right now. My personal social media presence is very, very minimal compared to our podcasts.
Being a friend with you on Facebook, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I don't do a whole lot personally, but yeah, for Drink Talk, yeah, depends on what we're talking about for my social media score.
Kind of an out of the blue question, I guess.
No, that's a fair. So that brings us into the topic of I am part of Drink Talk. That social media score is high. Let's just use social credit is high, but my personal one is low. So what is mine? Because I'm part of the other one, but
that's understandable.
Yeah. So is it somewhere in the middle? Like it just adds to mine, but not.
And that's where I think like they would have to establish all those connections. Like it can't just be based off one certain thing. Like you have to look at someone's whole aspect. Like
absolutely, there's an algorithm for that.
If you use your
probably.
Facebook more for the just like connecting to people that you met, I mean, I feel like what I hear the most is that Facebook is intended to reconnect with people that like you went to high school with.
Right.
In my aspect.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, these are the kids I grew up with. Like, oh, you have Facebook now. I want to connect with you. But like, if you're just connecting with people that you've known in like a previous life is a loose term.
In quotes.
Yeah. If there's people that you've known like a previous aspect of your life, it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna connect with you. It's like, but then like if you friend me and you don't like what I'm posting, it's like, well, I haven't spoken to you in like 8 to 10 years. Like you're really not a big deal to me.
Right.
That sounds bad, but I feel like that's kind of the easiest way for me to
it's been
put
a
it,
decade since we've talked.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not like tight.
Yeah, like it's been 10 years since we talked, and you don't like what I post. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But then,
that sounds awful. I feel like.
But then the question is.
Yeah, go ahead.
But then the question is, what does that count towards your score? If we're using this as a social media,
awful. It's like I don't like personally. Like I don't really care what you think, but if I post that or make that known, it drops my score. Where it's like, oh yeah, I kind of care what you think, even though I really don't. But if I make it look like I do, it raises my score.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and and that's another one that it creates I think that this whole media aspect or the social credit creates a false sense of self-esteem.
Because you're going to meet people that you're like, oh, I think you like me. And then it's like, oh, but deep down, I don't think you did.
It's because you wanted me to give you another review,
like,
a good
if
review.
you makes me look good, it makes you look good, essentially.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another, do you have another?
I think I thought I'd turned my live from Facebook off. I closed one app out. I'm like, oh crap! And then I'm like, wait, no, we're still live. We're good.
No, we're good. Hey, but you're watching, so hey.
Yeah. Well,
right,
I had to start watching. I'm like, should we close out of that?
One of the things that I think might be a big negative.
That was right there. That would be a big judgy thing. I'm like, we have this thing that we do live. I mean, it's instantaneous. We show people what happens right then and there. And we give no worries and we give no cares. Like, we're just going to put it out there for
but all of a sudden,
you to watch.
something screws up and you're like, oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh, disaster. Our ratings are going to drop. Well, luckily, disaster averted. This is happening. I went to type something.
Proud of you.
I went to type something to Grant, and I accidentally closed the app instead of keeping it open. But then I have a small box over here. I'm like, okay, we're still live.
Even better.
When you were freaking out over there, I was watching our feed just to like, is it going to cut off? Is it going to cut off? No, we're good. We're good. So, do you think this will create like a black market?
Ooh, selling people's lives essentially.
That sounds awful.
Or
like
credits,
selling
credits. People's credits.
Yeah. I'll sell you 500 credits for this.
Yeah,
I'll bump your credits because
that too.
Like
I'll make your credit look better.
Yeah,
it sounds awful, but a black market aspect is really smart.
Credit farms.
Yep.
Like you pay some money and they'll increase your credit score.
We've got 10,000 people in our credit farm, and once you buy into our credit farm, everybody's going to give you a 5-star, and you're going to go.
It's like having a credit card. It's like, oh, I'm going to go to this spot and use this credit card.
And now I get more points.
Oh, you were part of the 5-star black market credit. That instantly makes you look a little bit better. I think
you get valet service and concierge service, and
I agree with that. I think that's going to be a thing.
Yeah. But then if there's a black market for it, then you know that it's going to be hackable. So if it's hackable,
for someone like me, being hackable isn't a big deal. But for smarter people than me, hackable is a great thing.
for those with high credit scores,
exactly.
Do I want to be hacked and be brought down, or as a low credit score, do I want to be hacked and brought up? Those are serious questions. Because anything online is hackable, really.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of safety. If somebody has enough time and money, they're will hack you.
Well, and that brings me back to the point that my wife and I were talking about, Mr. Zuckerberg and Facebook. He got hacked. He did. He got hacked really good by Cambridge. I personally, for him to come out and publicly say, I'm sorry to the people of Facebook, that proves to me that he didn't really know nothing about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he pays stupid amounts of money to very smart people to make sure that this doesn't happen, and it slipped right through their fingers. I'm sure.
Maybe.
I don't know who has it.
I'm a
working
little
there.
bit of a skeptic on that one.
I mean, Brian, I'm not going in front of a committee on Monday. He is.
Right, but could be a slap on the wrist.
Well, I know he's going to be like, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And yes, it will be a slap on the wrist.
I think
I'm
someone
sure,
of
I'm
his
sure
caliber is covering his own.
I'm sure he's
know what?
tied in with a lot of different groups out there that are military grade. That this is actually phenomenal information, and they wanted this information, and now we have it. So yes, I'm sure he's just going to get a slap on the wrist. I'm sure he is, but. That doesn't mean he didn't know what was happening, or it doesn't mean that he did know what was happening. You know,
Potentially, yeah.
potentially.
We'll go with that. We'll go with potentially.
I'm gonna agree with that potentially.
Speaking of potentially, on to our next beer.
On to that, and while you're pouring that,
Toppling Goliath, man.
yeah, why don't you explain that one? I'm going to slip out
Yeah.
sideways real quick. I'll be right back.
Toppling Goliath.
Toppling Goliath. I need to. Aren't they like an hour and a half away from Omaha?
No, they're like 6 hours from Omaha.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, I need to make a journey.
So,
of it.
but if you ever go up to Decorah to go see Toppling Goliath, please make sure that you check out Pulpit Rock right across the street.
Oh,
Pulpit Rock is awesome. They've
So-
done some really good stuff.
some good friends of mine, Andy and Sarah. We've vouched that this summer we're going to take a road trip and we're going to go up there. For me, I thought it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours, but 3 at the most.
I really want to go to Decorah. So personally, I'm a big fan of Toppling Goliath. I really like their new batches of Pseudo Sue they have become from Decorah.
Oh my gosh, I've been getting 2-week-old stuff, and it's so good.
It's still
well.
good.
Well, here's the thing: when they were making it out of Florida, it was good. You know, it
was fine.
It was good. It was
Yeah.
fine. It was clear. You know, and now the stuff is all milky and beautiful.
So I've got Dorothy's, Pompeii, Gold Nugget, and Sue. I'm still partial to Sue.
Which
so
we can all buy that at.
at Spirit World.
There you go. There
The
you
bottles
go.
I've got here, this is the this is the Mosaic Sue, Mosaic Gold Nugget. I haven't had this guy yet. I'm really excited to try it.
I
I'm
do
sure
like
it's gonna be
Mosaic hops.
delicious.
They're delicious.
I'm sorry, I gave you a lot of head on that one.
Oh, I don't. It doesn't really bother
Actually,
me.
brings out the flavor.
Absolutely.
That's what I hear.
That's
I've,
what you know. You know that.
Oh, I know this.
I've been thoroughly enjoying
Sorry.
Toppling Goliath. I think they're great.
Everything
know-
they put out is great.
I know that there's gonna be people that are like, "Oh, you're just selling." It's like, no, I like what Toppling Goliath has done.
Sorry, I
hop-wise.
put it here so the camera.
The
can
Oh,
aroma,
sorry.
the aroma is just like pure hops.
So I've had a couple people tell me that this tastes just like Pompeii because Pompeii
I
is
do like-
100%
I
Mosaic.
love
Ale.
I love the Pompeii that they've got
Pompeii's
right now.
delicious, but there's gonna be different. Sorry, I keep trying to turn it. There's gonna be different aspects to
You
this
can
one.
turn it, but just turn it back.
You're gonna get different notes from this one than you do from Pompeii.
And I love the bottle. The bottle's good.
That's all the hat. Like,
Ooh.
it's a whole different
Well,
beer.
we didn't clinky before we drinky.
No.
Dang it.
I haven't drank it yet.
The nose on this one
I
is
did
phenomenal.
take a sip.
Oh, yeah.
Dang it. Very, it's a kind of a dry mouthfeel on that one because of the hops. I like it. I like
Personally,
it.
I've heard it tastes like Pompeii. I'm gonna have to disagree with that one. This is delicious.
It
It
is.
is delicious.
But so
This is good.
So is Pompeii.
It's a lot.
Pompeii's awesome. Don't
yeah.
get me wrong.
So can I use the word wet? It's a lot wetter than Pompeii.
I can agree with that.
This to me is
Alright.
dry.
I think it's
Like the mouth-
between Pompeii, which I had last night, and
alright.
this, it's a lot wetter.
It gets more kind of hop character towards
It's
it.
got
like towards the
it's,
front.
It's a lot hoppier,
For sure.
but I feel the hops are a lot wetter than the Pompeii.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like, there's more hop flavor that's hitting you right up front on the palate. Like, it's just like, oh, it's not like I took a drink. Oh, there's some hops. It's like I took a drink. Oh, like the hops are right up front. Like,
If you took
they're
hops
there.
and dipped them in water and then took the water
It's
from the
kinda-
hops,
yeah.
that's what you're
It's
getting.
called either a wet hop or fresh hop ale.
And I think it's a wet hop. Is it a wet hop?
No, it's just 100% Mosaic Gold Nugget. So they take their base Gold Nugget.
That's it, right on top. It says Mosaic Dry Hop.
Yeah.
Oh,
which
wait,
is at
it
the
is
end-
dry hop?
Yeah, it is
Yep.
dry hopped.
Oh,
Which is why you get the such a hoppy characteristics
because
of it.
yep, when you dry hop a hop, the hop bitterness comes
hoppy to meet you.
a lot more forward.
It's hop happy.
You know, I haven't had any of the Gold Nugget variations, so this is brand new for me as well. But this is delicious.
Decent.
These guys, they're doing good stuff.
Hold on. Cha-ching. 4.6 stars.
Yeah, like I look better as a beer salesman if I'm like, try this stuff. Oh, you liked it? Oh, my score goes up.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That brings a whole nother aspect to sales, man.
Right.
You just brought up a whole nother category for salespeople. Because if they don't like the product could be legit, but they're like, oh, that wasn't what I was looking for.
Maybe a 1-star.
2-star, yeah, whatever.
Well, and I mean, I guess that brings up stores. So you got the bottom shelf, you got the middle shelf, and then you got the top shelf, and then you have the eye-lined shelf. So, like, if you're a star rating, I would consider 5 stars being right at eye level because that's where people's eyes are going to be between the I'd say 6-foot range and 4.5 range, 4.5 feet and 6-foot range. That's where people's eyes are going to be at. So you're going to be a 5-star in that area. And then below that would be, 3, and then 1's down here. And up top, it's like, well, whatever. Put a whatever up there.
I mean, thing is like if you're a person that
you
walks
tell
in,
me, how do you categorize your beers? I mean, how do you put your beers on the shelf?
The way I put my beers in is all by geography, because if I just put it together and it's like stouts, IPAs, pales, blondes, it's like a person's only going to walk in, they're going to look at one spot, be like, I want a stout, and they're going to just pick 6 stouts.
Yeah.
I do it by geography because like if you go into my cooler, like you'll see Nebraska all on the bottom shelf. Next shelf up is like most of our border states. I got Iowa, Kansas, a couple of those guys. Next shelf up is Denver. It's like, if you just have to look, like, I want an IPA, but I want it from, I want like a more hop forward IPA. I'm going to look at the Colorado shelf.
Yeah.
You see Mandarina.
I mean, people are judging by eye level.
Yeah,
right now.
You see Mandarina. You see the New Belgium Juicy Haze. Like, you see Avery's IPA. Those are IPAs. It's like, those are a little more... not like centralized, but like they're kind of like West Coast style, maybe a little bit East Coast. So it's like, I don't want people to be like, I only want stouts and look at one spot. Like, I want stouts, but I have to search my entire cooler to find those stouts because, like, I might see something else that's like, that looks familiar or that looks interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to buy it. Like, that's one of the big pluses having
it's not a stout, but it's a brown ale, and that's,
I'll spend 3 to 5 minutes back there.
When you have,
when
you have beers from breweries such as like Evil Twin and like Omnipollo, it's like those are different styles. You don't see those all the time. So like if you walk in, you're like, oh, that's an Evil Twin beer. It's an imperial stout with something, some sort of adjunct. It's like, well, I like stouts. I'm gonna grab one of these.
Yeah.
So I feel like putting it together by state or by style. Sorry, that was the wrong way to put it. Putting it together by style, that's just gonna hurt your average consumer.
Yeah, because they're only gonna go to one area.
Exactly.
They're gonna judge that one area.
Yeah.
For itself.
Take a look, explore. We've got a lot of different beers in there.
Well, and putting it by region or by brewer or whatever, like I could say I have been to this brewery and pretty much anything they do is fantastic. I don't like this style, but it's something I haven't had from them. I'm going to give it a try. That's how I shop.
I think it's a great way to do it. Like, don't just find what you like. Like, if I want to expand, find things that aren't really up your alley.
Go to a brewer that you say, I've had 4 types of beers from them, and they've all been fantastic. I haven't had this style. Give it a go.
And now that we're on the topic of talking about Spirit World, which is totally fine, and I love shout out for Spirit World. If you guys are looking for a type of beer and you're not sure what you want to go towards, feel free to go right up to the counter and ask for a sample. Right? Can they do a sample? I mean, you can't sample 20 beers, but you know what I mean.
Beer whites, if it's on our taps.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Where can we find Spirit World, Alex?
67th and Center.
Excellent.
Right across the street.
Hold on, say it right on the mic.
67th and Center. Right across the street from...
There's an area there that... What is that area called?
It's called the X-Arbin. I get made fun of because I put a really strong emphasis on the
syllable.
Yeah. X-Arbin, 67th and Center.
Nebraska spelled backwards.
Yep, it's Nebraska. And that's why I get made fun of for having the Ak-Zarbin.
Well, it used to be an old racetrack. There used to be a ballroom and a racetrack there. I remember when they had the ballroom and racetrack there.
What's funny is we get a lot of customers that are like, oh, Spirit World used to be here. It's like, yeah, we used to be on 75th and Pacific.
That
sorry.
other- Specific that specific street.
Yes.
75th and Pacific. We used to be there. There's actually another wine store there. I think it's called Wine Styles now.
Yes, I believe so.
Not Ryan Styles.
Wine
Styles.
Styles.
All right.
And then
Don't
apparently,
cry over it.
A long time ago, like before apparently I could even start drinking, it was on 114th and Dodge before the express lanes were built.
Miracle
and all that
Hills.
stuff.
Yeah, Miracle Hills area.
I just saw Omaha for the first time when I was 16, so I have
Where'd you come from?
I'm from a little town about 3 hours from here called Lindsay.
I do know Lindsay, Nebraska.
You know?
I
It's a
know.
little small town.
Yes, I do know Lindsay, Nebraska. Don't you guys have like some farming equipment that comes out of there?
Yeah, there is a manufacturing plant called Lindsay Zematic.
That's what it is.
And every day, the population triples because that's how many people work there. My parents have been working there for like 10 plus years. It's an awesome spot.
Oh yeah, I've actually done one of their conferences. Lindsay I work down at a place downtown that has a lot of farm equipment that sometimes comes in there for shows, and Lindsay is one of them. And I go, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Been there, done that.
Exactly.
If you drive by it and you blink, you're going to miss it.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you a one stoplight town or not even a stoplight?
I think since I left there back in 2012,
There's a gas station now.
I think there was a gas station when I was there.
All right,
I
fair
think
enough.
there's actually a stop sign at that, or a stoplight at that gas station now.
Fair enough.
Nice.
They just redid the entire highway from like 3 to like 6 miles, but
Fair
yeah,
enough.
Took them a week. We were good.
it was a lot longer than a week. I can tell you that much.
Oh, we are in Nebraska. That's right. It does take a little longer.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know the whole like on the other side of the ocean, you drive on the left side, but in Nebraska, you drive on what's left.
That's
All right, so
yes,
so
absolutely.
getting back to the topic,
Yes,
I'm
thank
glad. I'm
Sorry.
glad. I'm totally glad we brought this up because people from small towns, how are they going to get their scores up? I'm like, if you're in a city, you know, if you're in New York, if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, if you're in
a very
Chicago,
good point.
like, boom, you're going to get rapid fire scores. If you're coming from a town of Lindsay, how do you get your scores? Like, everybody from the town of Lindsay's got a score of 1.2 or 2.3 because there's just not that interaction. I'm a farmer. I rarely get off my property. The only time I get off my property is to, go down to the local grocer and buy something from the grocer. So, like, if we were to come up with a system, how would it affect those people?
And again, those that are just joining us, we're talking on social currency. And if you want to know more about it, look it up real quick and then come back to us. And we're talking.
Or just check out the episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
Season
3.
Season
episode
3,
1.
yep.
called
Episode
Nosedive.
Yeah. So, yeah. Getting back to that, I mean, do you see where I'm getting at?
That's a fair point.
So what if those people from Lindsay, Nebraska decide to venture outside of Lindsay, Nebraska and take a trip? Heaven forbid the farmer gets a trip to California. Their judgmental score is going to be so low, but they're just in a rural area and they're just not getting a score.
This one's actually kind of hard, like, because you have those farmers that, like, they work really hard out in their fields.
They would be getting a score from the seed that they give to the people.
They're doing crops and whatnot.
But what is that score a lot greater than the score I get because I walk around town?
I'm gonna have to say it's probably not, because like I feel like unfortunately a lot of the farmers, at least in Nebraska, are kind of underappreciated.
Oh, absolutely.
They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot of awesome things for our state.
I have something on this one real quick, just so because
You want to write that down?
no, I think what we're missing here is in the town of Lindsay, like you can have a very high credit score because you are in with all the farmers, right?
Right.
But
Everybody's judging everybody, and we're all friends.
Right.
We're all a communal
Small
farmer
town
system.
area.
right, but
Exactly.
it's like 20 people, right, voting on you.
Yeah.
So your credit score could still be a 4.5, 5.0, or whatever.
Because you only have 20 people to work on.
Exactly,
that's
exactly.
fair.
But in town, in the big city, I mean, you have more people to
You've
draw
got
from.
4,500 people to work
Yeah,
on.
so I guess
So
it's
they
gonna
go to
be-
the big city on vacation, and their score goes, and you're like, I'm an out-towner. I'm an
I'm going
out-of-towner.
to throw it out there right now. I have said it while I've been driving. My plates aren't from this county. I don't know what I'm doing.
Fair enough.
I've been that guy.
So I guess it's gonna, is it gonna be number of posts or number of people voting on you, or is it just the quality of the vote?
I like to say it's the people voting on you, but looking at the quality of people that I see in that area, it's like they're not gonna vote. Like if it was like I'm like if it was like
you're working your butt off for this, right? You're just like, come on, man! I brought you donuts, I got you coffee, and you gave me a 2. Like you didn't even vote.
Unfortunately, I feel like 1 out of every 5 people in a small town like that would get rated. Like you'd have someone that like I've been working in the like let's say someone from Omaha showed up and like I've been in the service industry for 15 years, and it's like this is how I treated you, and it's like well. You said one wrong word to me. It's like I'm going to give you a 1 star,
right?
And that's unfortunate
because I was having a bad day,
right?
And you pissed me off.
And it's just like the people in Omaha work a whole different industry than the people that work in those smaller towns. Because like when it comes to like a smaller town, it's like you have one server that handles your entire store,
and they know you
exactly. Most of the time, 85% of the people that are showing in your store are people that you've seen probably 3 to 4 days already. Like just this week, so that one makes it kind of hard. At the same time, I've never worked the service industry in those smaller towns. I've only ever been in Omaha, so I could be wrong. They probably have a better aspect of it than I do.
Yeah.
But I like looking at it from the Omaha perspective. It's like, oh, you have 4 tables, 3 of those tables you handle like a boss. Done. That one table, oh, I forgot the napkins that they need, and that table's like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
And then it's
you
like,
didn't
well,
come to me
there
and fill
goes
my
your
water fast enough.
There goes your credit score straight down. It's like those 3 tables loved you, but you had that one that was like, I don't like you. Because that's just like being in college. You get a 0% on a grade. It's like you're gonna have to like make up 4 tests to bring that grade back up.
For sure.
You cannot appease everyone all the time.
But and that's
I 100% agree.
And that's what.
Well, let's just say this: I'm a DJ downtown at a club. I can't play a song that meets everyone's needs. I can't. I can't appease everyone every single time.
I agree.
Right. I get. So my thought was going to be if you go to the big city, you have more opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
For increasing your score, but you also have.
But you're an outsider, so you may not know how to react or act in a certain situation.
Or you may walk in with an already really bad score.
Yeah. You smell like cow dung.
or you're in a town of 2 people, you and your wife.
Sounds about right.
I'm a cow farmer, so that's what I do.
My parents DJ, and they do it for like.
Hold on, did you say your grandparents?
Sorry, my parents DJ.
You have some cool grandparents, man.
I do have cool grandparents, but they don't DJ.
Yeah.
But no, they DJ for like a lot of like the local schools and whatnot, and it's like they're traveling miles to get to some of these spots just because like it's not a huge aspect around there. So that's how it goes. I just hit the mic. That's how it goes sometimes.
Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake.
It's fine. It's fine.
And Doc score.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, and my credit score went down.
Yeah.
All right.
So
on to our 4th and final beer.
Yeah. This is from Infusion. This is it's an IPA from Infusion.
A radial?
Yes.
Yeah, it is the radial.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
wanted something local, so I dig local.
When it comes to local, man, why don't?
You know
what? Their credit score with me is kind of low because I tried to reach out to them and I don't know if it's because their social media aspect is they don't do it, but like I reached out to them and like I got crickets back.
Oh, really?
Nothing.
That's unfortunate.
Infusion, listen up. You are getting docked right now.
No, not Infusion.
So sorry.
That was White Elm that was getting docked.
White Elm, my fault.
White Elm was getting docked.
I'm
retract
biased.
my statement.
I love White Elm. I'm kind of a White Elm fanboy personally.
No, I like their beers, but I just wanted to reach out to them and talk to them and say hey, and just hey, by the way, you're going to be on the program, and like crickets.
That's unfortunate.
It is. This one I just
so you're secretly judging them in your head.
I am.
Wish we had an app to judge them.
That might affect their score.
They're going down.
We're going down.
Exactly. All right. So how do we? We'll get to the radial here in a minute, but
Brian, I don't think we're gonna solve this one. I mean, we'll talk about trying to figure it out, but solving the world's problems one drink at a time. It's. I mean, there's a lot of ways we could solve this. turn the internet off. I mean,
Yeah, mine was don't play the game.
Right.
don't play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that brings up a whole nother question of events. So I've got those friends out there that aren't even part of social media. Like, you can't find them on Facebook, you can't find them on Instagram. Who are you? Exactly. We know that game show. We know that show that depicts somebody that you can't find on social media. It's like, are you even a person? I don't even know if you exist. How do I even know you? So I have this one friend. His name's Nick. We'll just leave it at that. He is not part of anything. He's non-judgmental on any platform whatsoever. You cannot find him.
He's got a lot of free time.
Well, he's a computer programmer, so like, good for him, So like, he has not put himself on any platform whatsoever, which could be a good thing, Like, employers look him up and like, he has no information whatsoever. But but he's also worked for amazing companies, so he looks good on paper, and he looks good in a call. Like, did this guy actually work for you? And
we have no idea.
Is he applying for another job? Oh man, are we getting freaked out? Like, they're getting freaked out because he's applying for another job. Anyway, he has no social rating whatsoever. So, like,
which I think, to me, like, if you put that in modern perspective, that's like somebody with a 0 credit score. Not none, but like, or not low.
There's
zero,
something there, but
like
it's barely anything.
Or none.
None.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I walked in one time and I tried to apply for a loan, and they were like, your credit score is 0. And I'm like, can I get this? Can I get this loan? They're like, well, it's a good thing that you don't have a score because you haven't done anything bad yet. But it's not good because you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, it's not low. It's not high. It's
just 0.
Like, you got nothing, man.
Yeah, it's just 0. But okay, so
I think people freak out when they see that. They're like,
right.
You don't have a credit card? You have 0 credit? Like, there's nothing?
So this just brought it up another thing in my mind.
Light has
struck my brain. So let's just say you aren't you're not in the social media thing, and so where do they start you? Like, where? Well, like 2.5, 3.5. Where? Like, let's just say, hey, I just turned of age. I just turned 18. I just turned 21. I'm joining the social media aspect. They go, okay, well, you're starting at 1. And it's like, well, no, I'm not at 1.
I guess the question would be, do they look at your history on social media?
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that up, because we were just talking about that. We just had the Future Business Leaders of America conference going on.
FBLA?
And we had, FBLA.
Blah.
We got flooded with 3,000 little kids running around the hotel, and it was pandemonium. But
Pandalirium,
pandemonium, whatever.
No, I like pandemonium, but I say pandalirium.
Anyway, with my job, I get to sit on a few things that go on and all that stuff. And one of the things I found intriguing was social media. And so I got there early, hooked them up. I stayed for a while. I left. I came back early because I wanted to hear what was going on. And one of their big things was, just the way you post about things, what you know,
hashtags and characters that you use.
Well, not just that. It was what companies want to see is you were young. We get it. You were young and you post stupid things. We get that. But then you grew as an individual. You refined your post better. You weren't being that stupid character at 12 or 15 years old when you were first posting. You grew as an individual. We're talking about FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America. That's what's going on right now at my.
It was FFA when I was in high school.
Future Farmers of America.
Future Farmers of America.
So what they want to see is you growing as a person. They don't want to just see you going, boop, I just started my account, and hey, I started my account because I wanted to get a job somewhere.
1,200 posts today.
Exactly.
Give me an
they don't want to
score.
see that. What they want to see you grow as an individual through posting on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
and
all
there's
that sort
some
of stuff.
analytic that will.
And if you don't grow, if you're still posting the same stuff you did back when you were 12 years old or 15 years old, and now you're 24 or 25, you're not going to get hired.
Right.
Yeah. No, I get it. And you're still following those friends that are jackasses and losers,
We were
why are you still following them? Because they're dumb and, they're society, companies out there are following you. If you're going to apply, let's just say I want to get into Google, you want to get into Union Pacific, they have an analysis team that will track your record. They will judge you on how you post on social media.
So we were talking about when you first enter this program for social currency, where do you start? And my response was, are they looking at your previous social media history?
Absolutely.
To give you a baseline?
I got to talk to Mike there.
Yeah. Or are they looking like their recent history, or?
Well, it depends on when it starts, right? And it depends on...
Yeah, that'd be kind of hard, because, like, there's probably people that are like...
I haven't...
They've seen it, they're like, oh, I should probably clean up my game. Or there's people that are like, oh, well, I haven't seen this till now. Like, take what you can get.
Once you post, it's on there for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. Even if you delete your Facebook account, they can still draw that up.
The internet is not forgiving.
No, not at all.
Here's something to think about. Our kids are going to be the first generation of people that have had their entire lives documented on social media.
Oh, absolutely. I posted when my kid was born.
Same.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
I posted when she was 6 months old.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
and throughout her life and birthdays and look, learn to walk. Learn to talk. Look at this funny interaction. Loves balloons. Hates Elmo. Those kind of things. So
she hates Elmo. She likes balloons.
But I already told you.
I was just guessing at that point.
But you're right.
But I already told you this, Brian. They want to see you grow up.
Yeah.
They want to see you go from 12-year-old to 15-year-old to 19-year-old, and they want to see. Do
you know why?
To show you the progression of how you've learned.
That makes you predictable. They can write if they know how you grew up, they can write an algorithm on how you.
I like how you said that, predictable.
Yeah. So what about example, that 70s show?
Yeah.
Like Jackie's always like, "Oh, Kelsey, you're gonna change," but he never really changes.
No, people really don't change a whole lot. I mean, they grow up, but they don't change a whole lot. You're still you.
Okay.
So
you make executive decisions on what you do.
Always,
as you grow.
Always formulate your own opinion.
There you go.
But the problem is we have so much information now from social media that is our opinions our own, or is it formed by the mass?
You see information that leads you to the opinion that you actually build.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
If you were to look at my son's account right now, he would be a train driver. He would be a train conductor.
Proud of him.
He's so into Thomas. He'll leave the house and grab 3 trains on his way out the door. He just wants to have those trains with him. I'm like, you can't take those into where we go because we're going shopping and they might think you're stealing those things. So they're just for the car ride. He's like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's good. I got
this. You're good.
So. This whole topic of judging upon judging. I mean,
yeah.
People can formulate opinions on how you look. They can formulate opinions on how you talk, walk, what you drive, what you post on social media. But this is a whole nother level of judging you.
Right.
Because what they're doing is they're taking judging from other people that they don't even know and giving you a score.
Like I said, it's like Yelp all over again. 3 people are like, I don't like this place, and you were like reading them, you're like, I don't like it either. It's like, but I've never been there.
And then you look at that person and he's got a bad Yelp review for every place that he's gone.
Right? It's like, I gave this spot a bad Yelp review, but
yeah, that's just what he does. Yeah. That he writes Yelp reviews for Yelp and gives everybody a bad name.
Or you had
but you can look at that history and say, "Oh, this guy always gives."
That's what we were just talking about. Is this guy's notorious for just giving bad ratings all the time?
Right.
So yeah, I turned it off.
Nice.
I'm quick on that.
Excellent. All right, so you said we're not going to solve this, but I did give an easy way out. So the harder way out, though, I mean, is it coming? Probably. So what's the easy one is just
Well,
to play the game.
let's just say this: if it works well in China, then yes, because China makes our phones. So I mean, if it works well in China, then yes, it's coming.
Yeah, it might not be a while, but we're also a completely different country in aspects of looking at what China does. But the harder one is if it comes here and you don't want it here.
Import business, I think that, let's just say, import business between the United States and China, who else is number 1 or 2?
Have you seen some of the gaming shows that come out of China? We don't do those here.
But they're hilarious to watch.
They are funny to watch.
What was that game show that you used to
MXC?
MXC, that's it. You used
Most
to be able
Extreme Elimination Challenge.
I loved how they dubbed
That
over
was
the
the
voices.
super cheesy one, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
They dubbed over the voices.
Yeah,
It just was
my
hilarious.
mouth doesn't fit what you're actually saying.
And here we have
But
Baba
it
Ganoush.
was applicable to
And
what
you
they were
take
doing.
like a rock blow to the face and you're done. Like, yeah, okay, I remember that one.
Oh, she almost had it.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, got it.
Yep. So,
Yes, we don't do everything they do.
Exactly. So, but if it does come here, I mean, the easy way out is just don't play the game. But I think mass adaptation is going to be what's necessary to bring it here into the United States. So,
But if you don't play the game, and it is a thing that comes here, you're not going to get very far.
if a lot of people are so I'm talking pure adaptation. If we have a mass of people that say, no, we don't want that, it's not going to adapt, they're not going to bring it in, it may just be a trial run and then peter out, and that's it. The next step would be talking to your local representatives, which is infinitely harder on keeping that out of here. So
Wait a minute, aren't they the ones judging us?
yeah, exactly. Or wanting us to conform.
You know, I think the local representatives that run...
You flip the switch. Do we want this at all?
I mean, we have more beers in here.
Okay. Never mind.
And there's the after talk.
Oh.
And there is the after talk.
There's the after talk.
Yeah, exactly.
I hit the mic like twice.
It's all right. You don't have to say it. We
It's
just
your
know
first
it.
time in this location.
This environment.
So
Fair enough.
What would you give this environment as a score?
we're gonna rate you as
Yeah. Like the higher score I give makes you guys look better, right? No, this is easy 5-star.
You
This is
know,
nice.
It's funny because we had a person talking one time. I believe Grant was here. It was like 3 weeks ago, maybe, or something like that, 4 weeks ago. And somebody was like, "Are you guys in some guy's basement?" I'm like,
Exactly.
Yeah,
That is
it's
exactly where we are.
We're at a bar in somebody's basement. Mm-hmm. Don't judge. Don't judge.
Right?
Unless you're here drinking with us, don't judge.
What better place to have drink talk than a bar,
Right.
right?
You wanted to do it at your house, and I'm like, you got kids upstairs and wife, and
You got
all
a kid
that
upstairs too.
Well, it's a different story.
I know. You actually have a bar down here, so
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Here's the thing. Don't be so judgy as a person. I mean, that's what it really formulates down to.
It's
Is
so easy to do that though on social media.
you literally take one look and glance at a person and you judge them instantaneously in their mind. My mind's a little different than other people's minds. I don't really
We
judge.
all know that, Britt.
Oh, yeah. I'm all screwed up there.
You said it, so I didn't have to.
But, you know, I work around a lot of individuals that we'll just say union. I work around some union folk. Mm-hmm. And some of the union folk are just so like, but I'm not going to judge them.
Your sigh there just spoke volumes.
Well, I'm not going to judge them until I meet them, you know? And everybody's got a story. Everybody's got something that went wrong in their life, and that's why they're here now and doing the things that they're doing. But that doesn't mean that they're a bad person. I don't look at them instantaneously like, oh, that's a bad dude. I could see that coming around the corner. Until you physically done some altercation to me that has put that perception in my mind and said, yeah, I don't really trust that dude. You know, I'm going to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Ooh, benefit of the doubt. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Is that all we're going to say on this topic? Because I think we're kind of wrapping this one up.
Oh, whatever. I put the last call on. That's what you're just thinking of.
Yeah, that's why.
It's been an hour and a half.
I know. And we're not going to solve this one, but we are going to we've said what we're going to say on this one.
Well, if it's coming, act as a better person.
Right.
If it's not coming, whatever. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I see a wave of fake people coming.
Like we said, that could be a positive. That could be you're getting better customer service. A lot of people are going to be happier around you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a downside because they're fake.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So
It's going to be the downfall of genuine people.
Right. Black Mirror, episode 3, or season
3, episode 1.
There you go.
Nosedive.
Check it out.
Yeah, it's a good one. It pretty much speaks to exactly what we're doing. Well, we've been talking on social currency or social credit, depending on where you were in the talk, and we've been drinking on a few things from Spirit World. Well, actually, Alex brought. I don't know. Are they from Spirit World or are they from
the
collection?
only thing that wasn't from Spirit World was mine, the 7-hop, which I purchased from Whole Foods.
And the
Proud of
infusion.
you.
I had some time to kill. I was at Whole Foods, so I was getting cheese and beer.
Yeah. So, and Grant joined us for a little bit, and
Thanks, Grant. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, appreciate that coming out here. Wish he could have stayed because I know he's probably got a lot to say.
Having his 2 sips.
Yeah.
He had 2 sips of beer, and then he was out.
His sip of the gist.
Don't. Glad we did not call that the show.
I know, right?
Sip of the gist.
Yep.
That could have gone so many different ways.
Well, I appreciate those that have joined us. We kind of saw up and down on the numbers there on the live feed.
Appreciate Alex coming on board.
Yeah. I was getting there. I was going.
We are glad to have Spirit World as a sponsor, and it's sponsoring Spirit World. So,
well, then, yeah, for them.
I mean, we're sponsoring them; they're sponsoring us.
Yeah.
We've got a budding relationship.
Shout outs.
Shout outs.
There we go. Right there. Hashtag shout outs.
Yep.
Hopefully
all day.
Hopefully the next time we'll have Alziri on the show. He's a good man.
Yeah.
Making some mixed cocktails. I love having Alziri on the show because
he's a lot of fun.
Well, here's what it is. I'm not behind the bar. He is.
Yeah.
And he
I'm
makes
not
the drinks.
surprised.
And I like that.
That's a good time.
Knowing the dude, I'm not surprised.
The dude. But I'm the dude.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't deny that one.
Yeah, well, thank you.
So are you.
Yeah. And yes, you are. Yes, Alex. Thank you for joining us. My name is Brian.
I'm Britt.
Alex.
Hey.
You are Alex.
We'll catch you next time.
Have a good night.